You are watching PunkTV.ca, streaming videos on demand 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Now with over 15,000 assets from videos to interviews, photos and reviews of CDs, movies, and hot new products. PunkTV.ca is your web TV magazine. So keep watching PunkTV.
All right, I'm Dixon Christie here from PunkTV.ca. We're at North by Northeast with Andy Myers of the Scenics. How are you, Andy?
I'm doing great, Dixon. Having a great time, yeah.
Yeah. So, of course, you're down here to talk about your new CD, which is old music re-released, and it's called How Does It Feel to Be Loved? The Scenics play the Velvet Underground. Can you tell us about the CD?
Yeah, the Scenics were one of the first Toronto new wave bands. Got together with my partner Ken Badger in '76, summer of '76. These are live recordings from '77 to '81, recorded in all the old punk holes, the Beverly Tavern, Larry's Hideaway, etc., Horseshoe Tavern, and Cabana Room. And they actually came out this year for the first time, live, 10 songs, 10 different venues, 2 of them actually in our practice basement. We do an 11-minute version of Sister Ray in our basement. It's really just kind of demolishes a city block. It's very, we're the other songwriter in the band in our 6-year run. But we also love noise, just sound, the sheer sound and energy of that, playing with that as a rock band. And so that was a real connection with the Velvet Underground, because they did a lot of it. They had those 2 twin poles happening as well. So we were naturally drawn to their material. Their material is really important to us. And when, surprisingly, I found myself listening to us again 20 years later and being hugely turned on by what we were doing after the, Scenics have been in the back of my mind while everything else that happens in life, including lots of music and theater stuff, was happening. It just seemed like it would make sense to release a bunch of Velvet Underground things. It would be an easy way in for people. And the response has been great. We've been getting great reviews from papers in Detroit, Montreal, Toronto, Vancouver, Calgary. We've got distribution across Canada with Scratch, Sonic Onion, and it's being released in the States with a coalition of distributors down there. So we're top 30 national Canadian campus charts on the campus radio. So the response has been fantastic. People love the Velvet Underground, and we did it really well. Just got a review from a New York journalist saying better than the Feelies, Sonic Youth, or REM version of Velvet Underground. So it's been great, and it's really opened the door for us. And the next CD, I'm just working on mixing a bunch of remixing a bunch of studio tracks from '77 and '78. It'll be the best of the Scenics live in the studio. It'll be mostly our own tunes, which is the one question we get asked about the CD by reviewers. Well, what were their own tunes? What were they doing?
How did you choose the songs that you would include here? Of course, there's Waiting for My Man, and what else?
Beginning to See the Light.
Yeah. New Age, Sister Ray, yeah.
Yep. A lot of the reviewers have been saying, wow, what's cool about this is that they go really deep into the Velvet's catalog. It's not like Sweet Jane, Rock and Roll, and White Light, White Heat.
Yeah.
And that's true. We love the Velvets a lot, and a song like New Age, that was just playing on a tape in our practice hall in between our breaks for like 6 months, and then I thought, wow, it just became so ingrained in me from hearing it. One day I just said, man, I got to sing that song. And so we started doing New Age. And actually that's the earliest song on the CD. It's from our 2nd ever gig in March of '77. We weren't even called the Scenics yet. We were calling ourselves the Scenic Caves.
So did you find a big difference in the production values on the live recordings that you had from track to track, and did you find it difficult to compensate for that when you were mixing it all down?
It was almost like a gift from the gods, because it's all 2-track, and it was amazingly consistent and amazingly good. I mean, these clubs had sound men, and on Beginning to See the Light, you can hear each ding of the ride cymbal. So the sonic quality was really surprisingly good to start with. And I've been working as a producer, so I was able to get in there and figure out a few techniques to enhance it as strongly as possible. And then we had a Joby Baker mastering it, who's a Juno Award-winning producer, and he did a fantastic job. And so, you know, it's raw, but this rock, it's not like it was at one time when rock production, you know, all sounded like the big studio sound. Some rock production chooses to sound really raw and really well, raw, basic. So to me, it's not really an issue. I find some of the mainstream papers will mention in the review, well, gee, it doesn't sound like, you know, I'm wondering who are they saying? It doesn't sound like Barbra Streisand or something? Of course not, it's the Velvet Underground. And the thing about that basic sound for punk and new wave stuff is punk happened sort of, the art preceded the technology by about 15 years or something, but now everybody can do it themselves with a couple $100 worth of equipment. And the punk was sort of musically doing that, obviously, and as it turned out, just making records and CDs on cassettes and stuff like that, because like we did studio recordings back then too. We were in the studio like 5-6 times, but we also just taped everything we did. And now the technology's come along to help us clean it up and put it out in a way that, I mean, most people love the sound of it. It's very punchy, very in your face. You got the people in the punk clubs screaming and shouting, and there's one song we've got like a minute and a half. We got a minute and a half intro of just these people in the punk club screaming. And it was funny because in those days people were just finding out about this music. So one guy's just shouting out the word, Brian Eno, Eno, because it's like he's found God or something. Just nobody knows about Eno, and he's just so thrilled by it. He's just shouting out the word Eno over and over.
Watch PunkTV.ca for all the best modern rock videos and interviews.